Does God want us to be healthy? I don't know if you've been listening faithfully throughout this week, and even if you have been able to tell that I'm not up to my usual strength and my usual clarity. Well, I hope I'm up to my usual clarity. I don't know. See, this is a good sign that I'm not. The truth of the matter is I'm sick. I'm sick and have been for over a week. My precious wife is sick, and we're both ready to be done being sick. However, we both agree that the one who knows best whether or not we should be sick is the Lord himself. Now, there are those out there who take it as a point of doctrine that it is God's will that his children never be sick. And I thought, while I'm sick, it would be an appropriate time to consider that question. Does God want his children to never be sick? Of course not. Of course not. If God wanted his children to never be sick, what would we know would come to pass? His children would never be sick. There is no thing that exists that is contrary to God's sovereign, efficacious will. That will by which he brings all things to pass. There's all sorts of things that are contrary to his revealed will. And in that sense, you can say, yes, God wants us to be healthy in the sense that he wants us to be good stewards of the bodies that he's given us. He wants us to do well and to prosper, et cetera, all things being equal. However, when we don't have wellness, this is not something that we're supposed to reach the conclusion that, oh, it's because we lack faith. Think about the man born blind. The disciples, embracing a kind of prosperity gospel of their day, said, well, whose sin is this that made him blind, his parents or his own? And Jesus, I love Jesus' answer when presented with this false dilemma. His answer is no. No, it's not either one. But that you might know that I am the light of the world. And then Jesus heals the man. There's no blame here. Jesus didn't say, oh, so that you may know that the importance of this man having faith and how he can heal himself if he just believes. No. Exhibit A on why this is not so. Paul's thorn in his side. Now, we don't know what this was. We don't know whether it was a physical ailment, whether it was a sin that he was having trouble getting behind or past, rather. We don't know if it was a bad relationship with someone that was annoying to him. We don't know what it was. We do know that the Apostle Paul prayed exceedingly fervently, asking God to remove this thorn from him. And God never said to Paul, well, I would if you had enough faith. He never said, I'm with you. I wish you didn't have it. He didn't say anything other than, no, Paul, I'm not taking away this thorn in your flesh because I need you to remember and recognize your dependence upon me and my grace. The hardship of this hardship is less important than the fruit that it brings forth of your acknowledging and living in light of your dependence upon me and my grace. So if you're sick and you have someone, whether whispering in your ear or in a person-to-person conversation or something you're reading, who's trying to lay a guilt trip on you and say, oh, well, see, you're somehow outside of God's will. You've done some bad thing, or God doesn't really love you. You just tell them to take a long walk on a short pier over a lake of fire, because it's just not so. Now, can you be in bad health because you've been a bad steward? Of course you can. Should you be a good steward? Of course you should. Can you pray for healing? Of course you can. Is God up there in heaven wringing his hands saying, if only I could do something to help you get better? No. We are all in God's good hands. And he is not only the great shepherd, but the great physician.